It's round 6 of the United Rugby Championship, and the tour stops at the Aviva Stadium, and this is the Leinster side that will take on the Lions of South Africa. 2 unbeaten sides, top of the table after 5 rounds of the United Rugby Championship, and a big day for that man in the number 13 shirt. Hugh Cooney makes his debut for Leinster. Osborne, the junior Osborne, brother of Andrew Osborne on one wing, James Lowe on the other, and a very experienced Leinster side by and large. This Lions side, well, it's not filled with star names, but it is filled with loads of potential and ability. In the back row, they are led by Francke Horn, wearing number 8, Cairns and Pretorius either side of him. Very capable indeed, and really good to see how Cade Volhutter will go in the number 10 jersey. Made his way from South Africa for this game specifically, having been left behind injured after their round 2 game against Edinburgh. So then, the scene set, the Aviva Stadium, host to many an international, host of Leinster for this season, along with Croke Park as the RDS is redeveloped. 51,000 at its capacity. The capacity capped at 22,300, and they're here and they're shining their lights, and this is a big test for this Lions side. Remember, they've played just 4 games to Leinster's 5, but they've been impressive with victories over Ulster and Edinburgh at home, and then on the road against Dragons and Zebre over the last couple of weeks. This a very big test for them in their final game, everybody's final game before the November international test window. Alongside me, a man, of course, who played for Leinster. He also played for Bordeaux and for Bristol and for Ulster, and of course for Ireland, as Caelan Doris leads the Leinster team. It's good afternoon to Ian Madigan.
Thank you very much, Ryle. Really looking forward to the game tonight. Obviously, Prendergast on show again, recently named in the Irish squad. So much has been spoken about him. Looking forward to seeing him there.
21 years of age, Sam Prendergast. Caelan Doris, of course, captain of Leinster and now captain of Ireland. And there's the man who will take charge, Craig Evans of Wales, his 60th URC appearance. Alan Griffiths, fellow Welshman, is the television match official. All the experience of Luke McGrath in shot alongside the man who now has the ball, Sam Prendergast. McGrath, 31 years old, 19 international caps, made his debut for Leinster all the way back in 2012. This young man, well, he is most definitely the future. The question is he the present? We'll learn a little bit more about Sam Prendergast as this game unwinds, no doubt about that. Real challenge for both these sides. Feel-good factor as the November international window approaches. Who can go into it with a clean sheet, with a clean bill of health, and all those points in the bank? And if the Lions are going to lay down a meaningful threat, Ian, you feel like they've got to start well. Leinster have come out of the blocks in just about every game so far. Exactly that, Ryle.
Leinster have accumulated, 2-score leads very quickly. First 15 minutes against Munster, first 15 minutes against Connacht, and they're a really hard side to peg back. We've seen how they've defended this year with that really high, hard press. It's one thing at 0-0 or a draw game, playing against that defence, but when you're chasing a 2-score deficit, it becomes really difficult.
The big arms of Snyman reach out and block that ball down. It's a couple of poor kicks from Vandenberg at the base of the breakdown. The first one nearly went out on the full. The second one is blocked down, and now Leinster have a penalty. They'll be called back. That won't be allowed, but ominous opening signs from a Lions side that look a little nervous.
Who's that number 4 for Leinster? He looks pretty good. He was incredible last week against Connacht, and really good start from him there, putting pressure on at the breakdown. Not easy getting a box kick over someone who's 6'10".
12 carries, 8 offloads from Snyman last week. I mean, 8 offloads from a second row, who, by the way, alongside Ryan Baird, we were talking before we came on air, it's as about a ball or a pair of second rows as you're ever going to see.
I know, the options that Leinster have in that second row this year, they'll be able to rotate them, keep them fresh, keep it competitive, suitable to whoever they're playing on a given week.
So then Prendergast settles his first task of the evening. He's at 80%, 4 out of 5 kicks so far this season. He will have been in bed last night thinking, just give me a straightforward early one. And he got his wish, and he converted, and smiling faces tell you that it's 3-0. And RG Snyman, the architect of that penalty.
Yeah, nice little settler for Prendergast there. As a kicker, it's lovely when you have one of those to set yourself. You can go through your routine. I like his technique. It's very compact, not a whole lot that can go wrong. He's very long through the ball. Slight draw up.
And while we're talking about Prendergast, it's also very much worth noting that Cade Vulhutter, the Lions number 10, just 23 years of age, is a man to watch out for as well this afternoon. He played in the first 2 games as it's picked up and almost away goes Vandenberg, and Leinster have got the penalty, but just a moment there Leinster weren't quite at it.
Maybe that's the time not to pass it to Snyman there, but a bit of a miscommunication, but they scrambled well and managed to get a penalty, chance to relieve their line.
Yeah, just to finish that point out on Cade Vulhutter, the Lions number 10, he played in the first 2 games against Ulster and Edinburgh, but came off in the Edinburgh game with a muscle injury, and they left him at home for the first part of this European tour, Dragons and Zebre, but he made substantial recovery and was put on a plane and sent to Dublin for this game. Here's Gus McCarthy, Leinster's effectively 5th choice hooker when you consider Kelleher, Sheehan, McKee, Barron ahead of him. Here's Ryan Baird busting a hole in the midfield. And Prendergast on to quick ball. Robbie Henshaw makes his seasonal debut in the number 13 shirt. After it there went the Lions, but Leinster do well to hold on to the ball. Slimani, the former French international in the Leinster front row. Prendergast and young Cooney making his first start for Leinster. Come off the bench last week. There for Slimani again. Ryan Baird is such an athlete, and it takes 2 to put him down, and Leinster looking to do what they've done on each of the other occasions that we've seen them this season, which has come out of the blocks in 5th gear. Robbie Henshaw, he knows he needs to lay down a marker for international duty. Bundyaki going so well. And it's then to Max Deegan, who's had a terrific season, and the Lions are just allowing Leinster to carry a little bit too much every time they get the ball, and Baird and Cooney almost. McGrath's the link man. Prendergast, it's electric from Leinster. It really is. Can they finish the deal? Keenan inside out and 4 meters short of the Lions line. They've got underneath them. I think it's Caelan Horn underneath them, the fullback. Scramble defence it needed to be, and the Lions have done a terrific job of stopping what was a fantastic Leinster attack.
Yeah, really smart from the Lions there, up to hold up. Keenan close to the line. Brilliant first drive from Leinster, really good attack. Big change I've seen from them this year. They've moved away from the longer passing game. Short, snappy, accurate passes, passing the ball to players who are coming on at full speed. Really nicely run attack there by Prendergast.
Here's Robbie Henshaw, Leinster mixing it up, and Prendergast has a little look in behind, and that one won't find anyone in particular over out on that far side. Accredited Ryan Baird with that carry was actual Caelan Doris who burst the hole. It's another terrific carry from Caelan Doris. Just here, you felt they might finish it.
Yeah, it was ideally there you need to try and get to ground, but they crowd the tackle and get enough bodies around to hold them up, and smart awareness from them, knowing that if they can hold them up over the in-goal line, they'll get that goal line drop out.
Fullback Horn did really well. He was the one that got underneath Hugo Keenan. Ryan Baird having the bandaging reapplied, and a chance for the Lions just to catch their breath. It's been a full-on opening 6 minutes for them. The line-out has been really good from the Lions. 16 out of 16 last week against Zebre in awful conditions. They've got, 96%, the best line-out in the league, and that was another good effort. Remember, Leinster, very good at disrupting. Max Deegan in particular has poached a good few this season. James Lowe is going to see that one out on the far side. It's a good clearing kick. Gus McCarthy, McGrath, Prendergast, Henshaw and Cooney in midfield. What a way to start your Leinster career in a team of stars. James Lowe, one of those. Keenan and the Lions continue to make the tackles. On that occasion, it's JC Pretorius who puts his man down. Good tackle as well from Ruben Schoeman. Prendergast decides to go to the air, and it's crossfield as well. No one really able to attack that from Leinster's perspective, so straightforward for Horn and Creel to deal with. There for Vandenberg. Round the corner came PJ Botha, and Leinster offside. Penalty and an opportunity to get a little bit of territory for the Lions.
Good start from Robbie Henshaw. Really important game for him tonight. First game of the season leading into the internationals, especially with Ringrose and Aki going well over the last couple of weeks. Can he forge his way back into that Irish backline? Alongside Cooney tonight, really important for his first start that he trusts his instincts, doesn't put himself under too much pressure, carries the ball well, uses the likes of Robbie Henshaw inside him to get up and give himself read time in that defensive line, and trust his instincts. He's a quality player, good athlete. Looking forward to seeing him tonight.
4 wins from 4, 2 bonus points, 18 points in total. Of course, Leinster 5 5s to give them 25, but first against second in the league. Here's Cooney. Pass that Keenan had to stop and acrobatically save from going out on this near side. Luke McGrath, as I said, debut for Leinster back in 2012, 31 years of age now. What a servant he's been to both Leinster and Ireland. To the air they go. Forward comes Horn, a long, long way. In the end, he didn't get there. It was Schoeman who did. Botha. Good carry from the hooker. Back for Volhulter. And that one will be a competition that's won by James Lowe, and he pops it off to Henshaw. Prendergast has a look to see what's on offer. Keenan is the option chosen. That's good work again from both. It just slowed it up and disrupted a little from Leinster. Didn't give them clean ball. McGrath and Prendergast, but they are probing and they are finding a way, and Henshaw looks super sharp, doesn't he? Pops it off again. Prendergast, just so many runners and so many options, but that one backs Deegan, knocks it forward, and JC Pretorius very happily scoops it up, and the Lions have the ball again. Need to get a hold of it and go through a couple of phases, you feel, just to settle them down and get a hold of the ball, but they get 3 Leinster players in their face at the same time. There for Vandenberg. Scrum half has it again. Van Vick a little bit slow to get to his feet, but he's okay. Vandenberg to the air once more. And it's watched all the way by Hugo Keenan as Edville van der Merwe was bearing down on him. McGrath. High one from Prendergast, but again, if you're going to be super critical, and he's at the highest standards of judgment now, that's not a terrific kick. Really nothing for his back line to chase, too far ahead of everybody. Osborne to touch, and the Lions get the advantage in that passage of play.
Yeah, it's important when you're going to a high kick or a Gary Owen up the middle of the field that you do make it a contestable, because if the opponents capture the ball in the middle of the field, they can attack either side of the ruck and put your team under pressure straight away. Second time he's gone to it. Interestingly, the Lions are covering the backfield, they're covering the 2 corners, so Prendergast is seeing that space down the middle, but just needs to get a bit more airtime, land it a bit shorter so his players can get up at the ball.
So there's going to be a change here, and Horn is being called in for a HIA, and there you'll see it. Good spot from whoever saw it, because in traffic he runs into Andrew Osborne and definitely requires a check. It means And Cronje is in his place wearing 23. Lions have a hold of the ball. Can they do anything with it? Nicely wrapped around and into it. Immediately comes Cronje and gets them up to the 22. It's a big carrying Ntlabakanye who takes it into that 22. And the Lions have the ball. Leinster comes shooting up. And Van der Merwe does well to get away. Van der Flier is in. That was knock forward. Referee says knock on. You can see, though, the Lions with ball in hand, just pace everywhere. Leinster through Snyman take it in and on, and then at the breakdown, they hold on the ground. And I think it's Pretorius who'll get the credit. Hands on the ball from Josh van der Flier on the ground.
You can see here, good deception at the line, and that's what you got to do. When the Leinster defenders are coming at such speed off the line, you've got to be able to change your angles of running. And Dragons actually did it very well here a few weeks ago. And nice little play, catching Caelan Doris out there and getting on over the gain line.
So then, Kade Volhutter will get the opportunity to open the scoring. Hard to believe that it's taken 12 minutes for the Lions to get this opportunity. They've been in and around, but they eventually do get the 3 points that is on offer, and it's all square. There's a couple of box fans. They're getting their money's worth in Dublin tonight.
And we can see from that, Royal, that penalty's come from an offload. One of the flaws with the offloading game is it does affect your pod and who's going to resource that ruck, because typically the person who's made the offload is going to end up on the ground. The next person carries who's resourcing that ruck, and the speed that defenders get in and get over the ball now, it's very, very quickly into a turnover and a penalty.
Taken up by Jarod Cairns, and there for the Lions to clear their lines. That's a decent exit. And I think the last 3 or 4 minutes will have settled them down. They were chasing shadows a little bit. But if the first port of call, and the coach, Ivan van Rooyen, said it during the week, they needed to stop Leinster at source, particularly in the opening 10 or 15 minutes, and let them get up ahead of steam. And in that case, they've won that opening, 15 minutes in terms of keeping Leinster tryless.
Exactly, you got to hang in there. They certainly did that. We saw them holding Leinster up over the line. They've steadied the ship, got it back to 3-3. They'll be happy out with this.
O.J. Snyman hit the line, and now Keenan accelerates through the gap and up to the 22. Deceptively fast, Hugo Keenan. Saw that at the Olympics in the sevens, just has pace. McGrath, Milne, Van der Flier, crowd raised their voice. One of the Lions players just flopped on the wrong side. The ball popped out. Prendergast throws his hands in the air and says, how is that not a penalty? And the Lions say, we'll just keep playing, and rightly so. And it's cleared, and they will get a penalty. And that, a little bit sloppy from Leinster in that position.
Yeah, I think it actually rolled through Luke McGrath's legs in the end there. But nice attack. They've got good pay down that left-hand side. Hugo's looking sharp. Yeah, it just slides through Luke's legs. Got to be careful diving on the ball in around the base of a ruck, but the referees deemed that it's far enough out there. Missed touch here. And
badly so. Osborne was on the line, had to come in some distance to take it. Here's Lowe, who looked to try and exploit a bit of space back there, but there isn't any. Van der Merwe's moved to full back while Horn is out having that HIA. Volhutter. And into touch.
Interesting second time we've seen Prendergast go to the spiral. He did it on the first penalty kick to touch from underneath his post. Did a lovely one. Potentially going for a 50-22 there. Didn't quite catch it out of the laces, but good to see the ambition. The spiral kick, it's particularly quick through the air. Very tough to track it in the backfield.
shot there of Ivan van Rooyen, the Lions coach. He's been head coach since 2019. Very settled group, the Lions. No major stars, but they're showing their collective ability in the opening. What is 4 rounds for them? This the 5th. Snyman, their countryman. Look, I mean, how he manages to get those big levers free. I'll accept there's a penalty given away, but he's still, no matter where and how many you put around him, he still gets the ball out and offers it as an option to offload. Look at that. It's just ridiculous.
What you have to do when he's carrying, you need to get bodies around him. First off, you need someone low because you want him on the ground. You don't want him getting his hands free. And then you need bodies in around him trying to wrap up those arms. But at 6'10", even when you try and hold him up and create a maul, he will reach out the top of you and still get the ball away.
Or a tranquilizer gun.
That too.
It's a long way to the target. There's a hush descends around the Aviva Stadium, all 22,300 that are here. And that is a good kick. It's better than good. It's excellent. Just what his side needed. And what the significant minority are happy to see. Really good strike, Ian Madigan.
Excellent strike, long through the ball. He's got another 10 yards on that. Lovely night for a goal kicker. It's not a puff of wind in the air. But yeah, good start. 6-3 Lions.
Ryan Baird goes after this one, but it was back on the Lions side, but Baird was there to profit. Was that knocked forward? No, says the referee. Michael Milne takes it into contact. McGrath, Prendergast, and that one's come off Ryan Baird, who wasn't expecting it, and into the hands of Cairns. And the Lions get the opportunity to try and catch Leinster out of position. Keenan, always cool, calm and collected, manages to deal with Van der Merwe's rush, and Van der Flier carries it up. Good line speed from the Lions to cut Leinster off there. McGrath looks like he's shaping to the boot, which he is. Valhutta, Osborne quickest to arrive, and also there Mone Vandenberg, the Lions scrum half, plays out half as well when required. Schoeman, Vandenberg's got to dig it out, which he has. And as we head towards the end of the first quarter, it's the Lions who go to the air, and the Lions who you feel will be a lot happier as Cronje seem to push Osborne out of the way. Referee asking for that to be checked, I think. Slimani plays scrum half. Here's Prendergast. Cooney's had a quiet last 10 minutes or so. And James Lowe downfield, controlled by the boot of Van der Merwe. Now this fella can shift if he's given even the slightest bit of space. Cut down on that occasion. Vandenberg, out it goes and finds its way to Van Wyk. Kick downfield, this one could go anywhere. And Hugo Keenan had to use all his experience to manage that, as Richie Creel and Henko Van Wyk almost created something very, very special. Leinster warned once again. The Lions are warming to this.
They certainly are. We've seen some scrappy play from Leinster. Poor kick from James Lowe. That's better from Prendergast, 22-22.
Where's this one off to? Prendergast had to readjust and did so reasonably well. Big kick from Lowe. Valhutta, nice step. And he gets the Lions on the front foot. Vandenberg gets the ball away, and this is good from the Lions. Cronje, or is he Snyman trying to get a hold of him? Can't. Vandenberg looking for quick ball, has options both ways. Scrum half once more, using the narrower of the two sides. And here comes Van Vick once more, asked to carry. Leinster up quickly, but Lions get a yard. And if they can spread it wide, they've sucked Leinster in a little bit here. Scrum half, though, sees some space in behind James Lowe. Where's this one going to go? It's going to go exactly where he wanted. And that was a terrific passage of play from the Emirates Lions.
That's an excellent kick. There was a lot of really tired bodies out on the pitch there. With the new rules on the kick tennis, when you have to retreat when the ball is ahead of you, it takes much more energy out of your team. And you could see there, Leinster were getting ragged in the middle of the field. Their line speed wasn't as good on that final 3 or 4 phases of the Lions attack. And really good spot finding that space in behind, catching James Lowe out of position and putting Gus McCarthy under pressure.
McCarthy, Deegan and McGrath try to settle the nerves for Leinster. McGrath low and under pressure gets the kick away. So 4 matches deep into their URC campaign, the Emirates Lions, having been at home for the first 2 rounds and then come away and played relatively sides that they would have expected to compete well against in the Dragons and Zebre. We were wondering, where are they? The answer is they're well down the road based on the opening 22 minutes of this game.
They certainly are. Leinster are obviously a very good litmus test for how a team is truly performing, and tell you what, they're 4 from 4 for a reason. Leinster know they're in a right game here.
Ntlabakanye was the one that took it into contact, and it's there for Van den Berg. Van Vick has been a menace in midfield, and he's shown his strength, having shown his pace earlier. Leinster have done well to rip that one back, and they caught Van den Berg in a moment. James Lowe, little chip and chase, and the scrum half is committed to the cause and does really well to get there. Needs a little help from his friends, and in the end got it from the referee. And now they're going to go quickly, which is the Lions' way, and Leinster will be penalised for not being back 10. It's not a high-scoring game, but it is a very entertaining game at the Aviva Stadium. You can't really take your eyes off it.
Ultimately, this is how the Lions want the game to be. They want it to be a bit scrappy. They want it to turn into an arm wrestle. They don't want it to be structured and giving Leinster lots of set-piece attacks, because that's what they thrive on.
Shot.
It's going to go for a shot at post here. 52, 50, 55 metres on the angle. If he hits it as well as the last one, it'll be him at every chance.
Oh, I think he's got the range. Problem, and you'll know this better than anybody, the problem is when you're that extra 3 or 4 yards, that requirement for the additional power, that's when the radar can go, right?
Exactly, and when you're pushing over 50 metres, typically, especially for me anyway, I knew I had to stretch my technique. I'd ideally like him to be swinging at about 85-90%, but when I've gone for a long ranger, I know that to get that distance I need to jeopardise some technique.
Kari Volhalter did have the distance, but didn't have the accuracy.
22.
Lions, of course, won the last game between these two sides, 44-12 back in April at Emirates Airlines Park. It's the 4th game between the sides, Leinster winning the 2 prior to that loss.
Oh, sorry.
Jarod Cairns, hard carry. He was
Lift
hit hard, but managed to hold on to possession. Van der Merwe likes to move along that back line, doesn't he? Does not sit on his wing all day, even allowing for the fact that they've had to reassess their backline options with Horn, it would seem, not returning at full-back, and Cronje in the game.
Good defensive play from Baird. Probably his biggest strength, right? He gets off to the defensive line.
Okay, Leinster the ball, you set.
Very agile.
They move off you, okay?
Dip his body height well.
Yeah. You set up and they go adjust to you.
Schoeman, the man in shot, alongside Botha and Ntlabakanye.
And it was a long time, boys. First scrum.
Slimani, McCarthy
Stable,
and Milne, the referee,
balance, hit over
making the
mark.
point that I was just checking. Is this the first scrum? It is. 26 minutes deep, and here we are.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Lions have gone after that one, and the Lions
Number 3,
get the
down
reward.
to his knee, then across. You went to your knee first.
Slimani,
He's gone to his knee and he's come up and he's lost his
57 times capped French international, is the one who is penalised, and Schoeman is the man who gets the pats on the back.
Good scrum from the Lions.
Number
Slimani,
3
he's
to
still
his
finding
knee.
his feet in the URC. The scrummaging style is definitely different to the top 14. It wouldn't be my area of strength, Ryle, but he's certainly still finding his feet.
Leinster line.
You were not a renowned scrummager. There you
Leinster.
can see
You
it.
can see the right shoulder's dipped there. He's cutting across. And
George Finney.
good
Boys, line,
refereeing
please.
from
Line, please.
Craig Evans there.
Yeah, I said good picture last scrum.
Got a scrum
This was
square.
my side, okay? Good picture from you.
Decent platform this for the Lions. Botha. All sorts of movement and all sorts of pre-jumping, but eventually it comes back on their side, and it's there for Van der Berg, and knock forward. Van der Flier, quick to give Prendergast a little word. And that's disappointing for the Lions. They've worked hard to get themselves into that position.
I'll give you time to reassert. When you came up, you were not square. So that's the penalty.
Slimani just getting a little word from the referee.
Okay, I've spoken to him, but his knee, there's a penalty. We keep that arm up, square as always, okay? There's the mark.
Good tackle from Prendergast. He's a tall guy at 6'4", so important that his tackle selection is good. Dips his height well there. Hits just underneath the ball, forces the knock on.
Bind! Set! Keep it up! Keep it up! Away!
McGrath to James Lowe. That's a thumper of a kick. Oh, absolute thumper. Back inside the 5-metre line. Van der Merwe. Enough blue bodies get there, and at the breakdown, Leinster win the penalty.
Straight off it.
That left boot from Lowe is
Straight off it.
sensational. He's kicked the ball an absolute mile there. Midway between the 22 and his goal line, and it's pitched up just outside there, 22 on the angle. Crazy decision from the Lions to run that out, especially when your team has just had a scrum. You've got your 8 forwards tied up. They've got to run back 80 metres to try and help you out.
Before we make contact.
Got to cut your cloth there, get that ball off the field.
Leave space, okay?
And the net result of the penalty is that Leinster have gone to the corner, and this is the sort of area that they profit so often from. Gus McCarthy, the Leinster line out, 5 metres short, but the Lions have done a terrific job, and Botha is forced over his own line. Leinster will get another go at it.
Driven over, scrum. Boys,
But they got men in the air.
Now, okay? Nothing changes. Last scrum was good.
Leinster
If I got a call, I'll deal with it, okay?
really, Ryan Baird thought it was his.
Nothing changes here,
Francke
boys. Same
Horn
picture.
said, no sir.
Brave from the Lions, deciding to go up on 5 metres out from their line. If you lose that, typically it's going to result in a maul try for the attacking team, but all credit to Horn. He read the movement, got up in front of Baird.
Crouch!
Good win.
Bind! Boys, we spoke about controlling the weight in the change rooms. You both agreed with it. Let's meet with equal measure over the mark, please, okay?
I do love that.
It wasn't
when the
perfect, I
referee
wouldn't have
says,
stopped.
you agreed to do this in the changing rooms. Never met a front row forward who was ever at fault. Right then,
Crouch!
the Lions 3 or 4 minutes ago had a terrific opportunity in Leinster territory
Set!
and didn't come away with anything. Now it's Leinster's turn. Caelan Doris off the base, drives forward. McGrath looking for it, little bit slow, and he leaves it as he steps over it and Van der Flier. And there will be a reshuffle of what was on, taken on by Milne. Now Ryan Baird with Doris there. Baird looks to crawl over that last yard, can't get there. McCarthy, Lions ready, waiting, and hit that blue wave, but I don't think they've been able to stop it. It may well be Van der Flier. It is Josh Van der Flier who comes up with the ball. Just too much power from Leinster, too close to that Lions line. The defence was set, but not much you can do when they're coming at you low and hard like Leinster.
Really good initial carry from Doris. Once you get on the front foot up, 5 metre scrum like that, it's really difficult. All teams go to their pick and jam. You can see Leinster not only doubling but tripling the weight of Josh Van der Flier there.
Done my bad job, kept him safe.
Prop either side of him.
Thank you.
Real strength to Josh. He knows how to get the ball down in those situations. You do not want to get held up over the line there with the new rule of the goal line dropout.
And an opportunity for Sam Prendergast to tag on an additional 2. Straight and true, Leinster lead it by 10 points to 6. Van der Flier first try to URC this season. A little bit of concern for one of the Leinster players. Is it Slimani or is it Milne?
That's fine.
I think it might be Michael Milne who's getting, yes it is, who's getting the attention, but he's okay. Medical staff leave him alone.
Time on.
Important for the Lions as we head towards the final 7 minutes of this first half that they hang in as well as they have for the first 33 minutes and don't let that gap widen on the scoreboard before half time. If anything, if they could find another 3, that would be most welcome from their perspective.
Yeah, certainly at 6-3 and a good attacking opportunity in the Leinster 22. To have knocked the ball on that easily was disappointing, and then to back it up with another error, give Leinster an opportunity in 22. They'll be disappointed with that, but it's been a good first half for them. Leinster typically finish off the first half really strong. They'll be saying to each other post that last try, let's score and score again, push this game out to potentially 15 or 17-6. So really important attack this for the Lions.
Both that goes towards the tail and finds Cairns, and to the back line they go. Van Vick gets the ball, but he gets a face full of Hugh Cooney at the same time, and the line speed from Cooney was such that it created the opportunity for Leinster to go foraging at the breakdown, and that is a turnover for the man making his full starting debut today.
That's a brilliant defensive read from Cooney. What I like about this, he's not just taking a risk. This isn't blind. Robbie Henshaw is leading the line inside him. Long pass comes in from the Lions. He can read that ball in the air, see where it's going, and make a massive hit. See there, he's behind Robbie in the defensive line. The ball goes in the air and he shoots up on the pass. Good dip, textbook tackle, huge play.
And James Lowe able to go after it. They enjoyed that in the box, Neenan Bar and Co. Leinster just about have their own ball. Ryan Baird, McGrath, and off they go again. Heading towards the final 5 minutes of the first half. Is there another try in this for Leinster before the break? McCarthy, tackle from Ruben Schoeman. Prendergast improvises, and it's taken, well, it was taken by Van den Merwe, but it's now bubbling around, and Van den Berg has got it and does really well to get away from his line with 3 or 4 Leinster defenders bearing down on him. And the Lions have rescued the situation. Prendergast might have a look at that again and feel like he should have kept ball in hand. Just maybe trying a little hard to create something in a cul-de-sac.
Okay, now let's use it.
Vandenberg. And a really good clearance from the scrum half. That was a nice little cameo in the last 90 seconds from him.
Yeah, he's got his team out of a hole there. I know, I can see what you're saying, Royal. You know, a good attacking opportunity there, but it's still applying pressure. It still forces the mistake. You know, if Creel decides to kick that, maybe you block him down, or you get up in his face. Ultimately, they still force a turnover and applying pressure. When you're 10-6 up playing at home, that's what you want to do.
McCarthy, Snyman, McGrath, and it finds its way to Cooney, whose start and finish to this half in particular have been impressive. Lowe sets it up for McGrath, and here goes Big Orgy again. Ruben Schoeman takes him down, pulled back by Milne, and in midfield, oh, that's a big hit by Van Vick on Cooney. Lions get there in numbers, but Leinster do as well, and Caelan Doris is so often, after he gets his hands on the ball, makes an extra yard or two. It's bobbling around in there. Somebody needs to get a hold of it and control it. And it was Botha, I think, who was the last person to get their hands on it and secure possession for the Lions. Now, Horn, the Lions captain, sets it, and Vandenberg. And maybe something before the break.
Leave one!
For the Emirates Lions. Here's Botha once more, but again, two Leinster players, including his opposite number, McCarthy, there to make the tackle. Little look up from Volhunter to see what's on, and James Lowe was not going to get caught out of position for a second time.
He's done well to cover back there. Good initial side of the space. If Volhunter gets it into the corner, you can see there with Prendergast when he's taking it right to the line like that. If the defensive player makes a good read, the person catching the ball is going to be under maximum pressure. It's a bit of a case of all duck or no dinner. You're going to go either clean through the line or you're going to get stuffed in the bottom rib, and that was a tough catch for Cooney there.
Played 31 URC games at the Aviva, 31 United Rugby Championship games in its various guises over the season have Leinster. They've only lost twice here, both against Munster, 2014 and 2023 in that semi-final, where Crowley dropped the goal. So it is a big ask to come here and try and come away with anything. Robbie Henshaw down the middle of the field and pushes the Lions back.
Right, retreat. Keep
Good
going.
clearing kick, and we will have at least one more passage of play. He's done well, the Lions out half.
He has. I've been impressed with the halfbacks. I've been impressed with Horn at number 8. They have a smart game plan. They can press their backline right up. They're not looking to play to width unnecessarily, which you can't do against this Leinster defence. They've hung in there, really important now. A minute to go, Leinster getting a set piece. This is when they're dangerous.
Shorten line out. Ryan Baird moves to the back, down for McGrath. Prendergast to the line, and Van der Flier almost gets away. The out half of Hulter did enough just to put him down, and in they go.
First man on the ball.
First man on the ball was a Lion, and the Lions turn it over. Penalty against Josh Van der Flier. In some ways, his momentum just took him away from the supporters, and the Lions were the first to get there.
Yeah, but Leinster will be disappointed with that. That's a set move. You know, the two guys who should be rucking on him, they'll know their job. They'll have been told it in the meeting on a Monday. They'll have practiced it on a Tuesday and a Thursday. What was positive about it, Prendergast taking the ball to the line. That's more the duck part of what I was saying, and it creates the space. It's very hard for the defenders when Sam is as flat and as square as he is, and you've got the Leinster players cutting lines and angles back across the bodies of the Lions defenders.
This will be the last passage of play. Just one quick point before we do go to the break. The number of penalties Leinster have given away, 9 to the Lions 4. Once you get into double figures, even after 80 minutes, coaches look at what they've been doing as a team and feel it should have been better. Leinster to give away 9 in the first half is a big number.
It is a big number, and while they haven't been overly punished on the scoreboard, it will have taken up a lot of their energy. The petrol goals will be feeling it.
Okay, it's gone now.
Really good maul effort from both that, but it just over-egged it a little bit, but still held on to possession, and Van der Berg will get the lines going again. Maybe, just maybe, something before the break that would really warm the heart of the South African side. They weathered the early Leinster storm, and they have more than grown into this game.
Half time.
But that will be that for a half that had a little bit of everything, including a decent try from Josh van der Flier. The rest of the points on both sides have come from the boots of the respective out halves. But the Lions, well, they'll blow out their cheeks, but they'll feel reasonably good about themselves. The Aviva Stadium, not an easy place to come against the league leaders, and the league leaders have it, but just by 10 points to 6.
But this season, and we've just got to hang in there.
Okay.
This next 10 minutes,
behind.
really important. Make Leinster sweat. That's what you got to do to beat them. You've got to take them into the final quarter, make it a one-score game.
The referee blows the whistle, and off we go at the start of a second half where the rain has decided to greet the players. It's absolutely pouring down in the Aviva right now, but there were a couple of showers forecast. Let's hope it's no more than that. The Lions, you feel, will be the less happy of the two to see that rain coming.
Certainly all these Leinster players were very familiar of training and playing with a wet ball for the majority of the year. Not so much in South Africa.
23.
Saying that though, Leinster do want to play a running game. And you can see it pouring down. Also makes the ball really slippy on this surface, this Deso surface. It is almost nearly slimy when it does rain. So makes the handling particularly difficult. You got to pass the ball off the line. You do not want to be catching this wet ball on the line, getting hit by that Leinster defence.
So both that goes towards the tail, brave enough in the conditions, and taken by Cairns, and into midfield it goes. It'll dink over the top, but that was read all the way by Osborne, and Keenan feeds James Lowe, who gets the kick away. Back there is Edward van der Merwe. And scrum cap of Josh van der Flier puts him under a little bit of pressure, and definitely advantage Leinster in that one. 3 tries from that man in the competition so far, including one against Zebre last weekend. Hasn't really been given the freedom of the park just yet at the Aviva Stadium.
No, and you can see there his natural instinct. He wants to run that out from there, like we saw in the first half. But smart from Andrew Osborne, covers the space well, gets the offload away, and James Lowe straight to put Lions back under pressure.
There from McGrath, and now Robbie Henshaw, who started like a train, but then it was quiet enough from him, and that one is knocked forward, and an opportunity. Well, Van Veek had to do really well to stretch to get to that one, and the tackle is made. Not for the first time Van der Berg almost gets caught in possession, and both gets the ball, and a couple of Leinster players as well. Advantage being played.
You got advantage, Red.
To the Lions, as Leinster were offside. Van Veek again almost offering himself to get away. This is good from the Lions. Ball in hand, nice quick feet, and away goes Jonker, and a chance for the Lions to get in behind Leinster, and they still have the ball. But there's a knock forward. But
advantage over there.
Hey, if Leinster needed a wake-up call coming out of the dressing room at half-time, they just got it.
There's a knock on.
Yeah, and Hutter has put them under pressure. He's made a few sniping breaks. He was the one to start off that attack. I like that decision to go, but he's got to get it over Keenan. It was a foot race, which the Lions were probably ahead of into the in-goal area. I like how the Lions have attacked tonight. They've kept it tight. Not running into the guts of that Leinster defence. Overloading one side of the pitch. Changing their angles at the line, making it tough for Leinster to get big hits in.
It's been smart rugby.
It has been smart rugby, and they are a smart team. You said it before at the top of the show. They're not a team of superstars, but they're a very tight-knit team. They have a smart coach. Came here tonight with a clear plan, and the team are executing it well. I think they'll feel like they have a bit of an edge in the scrum as well if they can put Leinster under pressure. Get the loose head side up here and force Luke McGrath down that right hand side.
Rain continues to fall. It's a better scrum from Leinster. Then the Lions say, have a little bit of that, but McGrath is able to come away with it. Osborne will play scrum half. Standing start for Michael Milne. Slimani there to help him. Ryan Baird extends the train, and McGrath will fire to the air. This one is wandering towards the touchline. Osborne won't let it go out. He's hit hard on his return to earth by Cronje. Snyman has not been as influential maybe as we thought he might be. Prendergast gets hit hard through the hands of Cooney. Nice pass out to James Lowe. Van Dijk almost tempted into making a late tackle, but thought better of it. Creel will hold on and not go, surely. No, he won't. James Lowe standing in the way.
Time off. 1 and 3, Sam.
Changes coming for Leinster in the front row as you look at Sam Prendergast running into quite the sandwich of Ntlabakanye and Juncker. Changes in the front row, as they say, for Leinster. Numbers 1 and 3, out they come. Slimani and Milne out, and in come Clarkson and Andrew Porter.
I've been impressed with Clarkson so far this season. Anyway,
straight into it.
Straps. Good on you.
Leinster turn one over.
Certainly someone who's developed physically over the summer. Being called up to the Irish squad as a training player.
Time and time.
Henshaw, Cooney, good hands to the ever-willing Hugo Keenan. Got to protect that ball, which Leinster do. For a moment, then it's spits out of the side. Not sure that didn't go forward, but referee Craig Evans keeps his hands by his sides, and Leinster continue into that 22 tackle from both that. There for McGrath, who's worked hard. Prendergast right on that gain line, inviting the Clarkson run onto it.
Thank you, 3.
Crabbing across the pitch a little bit as the rain has subsided. Cooney, nice offload all the way to Deegan through the hands of James Lowe, but forwards.
Forward.
Indeed, Max, indeed.
Yeah,
nice offload again from Cooney. Nice pass to James Lowe earlier in the half. Good offload there. You can see with the Lions, similar to their attack, they defend very tight. They're happy to leave space out on the edges.
Okay, let's go, please.
But you want to create an arm wrestle in those
ball, you set up
tighter exchanges.
Boy, scrum's really
especially with this wet ball, it is harder to get the ball to width.
Okay? Steady.
That's the challenge for Leinster. If they can get it there, that's where the space is.
Ball pass your ball. Yes. Yeah. Gonna adjust to you.
Good test for Clarkson. Been impressed with this line scrum. Touching on it there, it's really important that Ireland do build out their depth chart behind Tadhg Furlong at tight head. Such an important position in an international team, in any team.
Keep it up. Getting the ball, 9.
Oh, that's a good old contest, isn't it?
Good battle. I got no legal dominance. Up on the mark. Reset.
Looked like Leinster got the tight head side up there. Porter can match him. They were
forward, that's all I want.
Dual penalty.
Drive straight, both of you. That's all I want is drive straight. Both of you. That's the information I had, okay?
This, of course, not the end of the action on this United Rugby Championship round 6 weekend. Wins already for the Bulls over Benetton, Scarlets over Zebre, Warriors over Stormers. Sharks took care of Munster earlier on, and the Ospreys with a decent win for them over Edinburgh. And later on, after this one, it's Connacht against the Dragons and Cardiff against Ulster. Both those games kicking off just after 7:30. Leinster have got the momentum on this scrum, but the Lions have got the penalty. Walking around. Is that the decision?
Ball against number 1, driving across the scrum.
Coming across the scrum against
Then put number 1
Porter, I think.
Across the scrum.
Was it?
17, yeah. Yeah, that's what the 8 was.
Not scrummaging straight against Andrew Porter.
Their line-out's been good, the Lions as well. They're going to cause a lot of teams in the URC trouble this year. Definitely see them pushing for a playoff spot.
They'll be thinking that as a minimum right now, no doubt.
Okay, release, Blue! Release!
Juncker will play scrum half.
Oh, leave! Use it!
Vandenberg, despite the attempts of Deegan to block him down, gets the kick away. James Lowe came from a long way back but knocked it forward as he got a hold of the ball in air.
When you got your own player in that space, I can't award you, okay? You were fine on the ball, but when you got a blue player the other side of you blocking the clear, I can't award you, okay? That's the one I was on. I'm saying you. Yeah, that's the call I had. You went across. That's the call I had. Right, go on, let's go in, please, lads.
I like that from Craig Evans. It's clear. He's standing by his call, and even at the breakdown there, he's letting the players know whether they can go for it or not. There's nothing worse as a player being unsure. The ref needs to guide you in that situation. Is it the first bite? Is it the second bite? Good from Andrew Porter as well. Wants to find out why that scrum did go against him, why that penalty went against him.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold it!
At the feet of Horn.
Use 9!
Difficult angle for Vandenberg. McGrath lurking, but he got the pass away nicely. Juncker.
Player falling, no foul play.
Ball comes out quickly. Scrum half fires it along the ground. That was a smart play, really smart play from the Lions scrum half, Bonnie Vandenberg. It's a slippy old evening with the rain having come and gone, but that torpedo kick, so difficult to deal with. Lowe couldn't.
Yeah, Lowe's nearly like a goalkeeper there. Ball getting drilled at him, but it's a smart play. Lions don't want to overplay around the middle of the pitch. Good carry from their 12. Nine pulls it out from the scrum, tries to find the
but if you want to stay on angle,
keep the ball in front of his pack.
Into the game, I might have to make a decision. Square and lockout, non-angle.
Ntlabakanye, he's put in a shift, hasn't he? He's a little bit more to do. Never see a front rower, well, almost never see a front rower going 80 minutes anymore. But the hour mark is ticking towards it for him. He's got a real handful in Andrew Porter to deal with again. And Porter's got the squeeze on there.
Straight in. Straight down in there.
Clarkson gets the plaudits from those behind him, and Leinster get the penalty. Good kick.
Very good kick. I think this is the first set piece for Leinster in the Lions half. From line out in the second half.
Lions yours, red.
See if we can get their power game going. Get into the seam of that Lions defence. Get their big ball on the ball, round the corner.
Gus McCarthy then. And again the Lions, they've just not given them anything easy. Put players up at times when you didn't expect them to. They've competed for everything. Yes, Leinster still have the ball, but it wasn't clean ball by any stretch of the imagination. Caelan Doris takes it into contact. It takes 2, if not 3, to pull him down. Snyman, Lowe, big man with ball in hand, so difficult to stop. Henshaw adds to that chain. Quicker ball. Prendergast picked it up off his toes. Did so well, but the pass was forward. The pass was forward. Everything up to that was terrific to watch, but Prendergast, having done the hard bit, just couldn't execute the pass.
Yeah, really good pick up off his toes. sees the space. Just bit of dew on the ball makes it harder. It's a great pickup.
Yeah, and that looks forward.
It is forward. Good call from the refereeing team. What a carry for Caelan Doris there. He got absolutely whacked. He's the best in the world at keeping his feet under him after he gets hit. His yards after contact just buy his team so much time and gets his team onto the front foot.
Crowd feel they need to get involved. They're edgy and itchy and expecting a little bit more from their team. And the Lions are frustrating them, and that's exactly what they'll have set out to do, heading towards the hour mark to be within 4 points, no doubt. That was part of the plan. Keenan runs it back up to that 10-metre line. Got to let him go now, and eventually Nothnagel does just that in RG. Cooney had to reach for that. He was a wide open target, pulled his arms back in just in the nick of time. Good clear out from Caelan Doris. McGrath gets the call for the kick. Osborne is the one to chase. I think he's done unbelievably well in traffic there. There's Andrew Osborne to gather that ball, and now an opportunity for Leinster to attack. And here's Cooney, and he's got men outside and tried to burst through Van Vick, and also Creel couldn't get away from them. Prendergast again, little dinking behind. Lowe's after it. James Lowe! Don't think so. Don't think so.
Be interesting to see if Horn has come in here and slapped the ball illegally out of the...
On-field decision, no try. Just want to check round in, please.
It's a delicate little grubber from Prendergast, very difficult skill.
Here we go, Craig.
Van Vick is the other player.
Okay, so we've got both players free to go for the ball. Just need to determine whose hand it comes off us, Alan, as well.
So, Craig,
yeah,
it's clearly not forward by blue.
In goal?
In goal.
Goal line drop with that.
Confirmed.
Okay. No, both going for the ball. No try. Goal line drop out.
Yeah, referee's decision, both of them going for the ball to try and ground it, and neither of them did.
Goal line drop out.
Yeah, Caelan Doris asking the same question. I was thinking live, but we've come across the right decision. Okay. Fair contest.
When you want, when you're ready.
Rain is back as Volhunter clears his lines.
Good clearance, 55 metres. That's what you want to do on these restarts. Drive the attacking team back.
Speaking of driving, there's one from Caelan Doris. He drives the legs through the gap and keeps his team going forward. Leinster with all the ball and all the pressure, but not a huge amount on the scoreboard to show for it in this second half. Van der Flier almost away, held on, did Pretorius, but Leinster come again. Prendergast, Snyman, McCarthy and Lowe, and he tries to fend off, but there are too many there. They swarm around him, and Leinster now 4, 5, maybe 6 meters short as Van der Flier gets them going forward again. Crowd know this is a very big moment in the overall context of this game. Caelan Doris back on an angle, but the door firmly shut. Terrific defending, rapid defending from the Lions, but offside on that occasion. Van Vick, if we get an opportunity, he must have hit the ground 3 times in that passage of play, and yet he was back on his feet and the next one to make the tackle. Terrific.
Yeah, they've scrambled really well. Anytime they have been breached, they work back really hard. We're going to see a tap and go here from Gus McCarthy.
Keep an eye on RG Snyman. From this close, with that amount of beef, Leinster just a metre short. Van der Flier around the corner again is Caelan Doris. That's a try for Leinster. Second one of the evening. Out of the same script. That close to the line. With his bulk and the power coming behind him, there could only be one outcome. Crucially, they ground the ball. And Caelan Doris and Leinster have their second try of the evening.
You can see here, pre-planned, tap and go. It looks like Doris is going to get it to the right, peels around to the left. Actually tee it up well, but again, his ability to absorb the contact, keep his legs under him, and get those yards after contact. It's just such a strength of his game. Get two bodies in front, keeps his legs underneath them, still has the ability to get the ball on the ground. Good passage of play for Leinster leading up to that try. Moving the point of contact really well. Man and shot was at the centre of it. Josh van der Flier with a good carry up the middle. Soft hands down the edge. Once Leinster get 5 metres out, it does look pretty ominous.
Good angle to watch that one sail over the black spot, and Leinster out to 17 points to 6, and we're at that point in the game where the Lions will know they need to score next, or this one could get away from them in the final quarter.
Exactly that. They've done well to hang in there. 17-6, probably a fair reflection of how the game has gone, but if they can get it back to 17-13 and make a game of it for the last 15 minutes.
Okay, and as Lowe is coming into the game.
Time on. You're happy.
There he is. And there's also a change in the front row. Out has come PJ Boda, which means Marius is going to come in. Delport in as well for Schoeman. And that one has gone out in the full, and that is exactly what you don't need at a moment like this. Just taken hit to the solar plexus, and then you sort of score an own goal.
Yeah, I was guilty of a few of those own goals myself. I'd be straight to the front row, begging them to try and get me out of a hole. That's the last thing you want to do off the back of conceding a try. Put your scrum under pressure, open up both sides of the pitch. 50-22 is an option now.
Crouch!
Yeah, it's a statement of the obvious. It's a long way out, but it is a terrific attacking position. Full width of the pitch either side. Big scrum from the Lions again.
Down on the far side. Quick reset, lads.
Yes, it really is a nice place to attack from. Okay? You're guaranteed
long
gain line.
Keep the elbows up.
You know, simple 2-3 passes, get it to the edge. You're going to make 10-15 metres. You've got your forwards coming from the scrum on the front foot. You play on top, put the opposition under a huge amount of pressure.
Crouch!
Inside the final quarter of this game, and indeed this phase of games for Leinster and the Lions. After this, they will depart, many of them for international duty, in Leinster's case in particular, and it'll be November before we see them, the end of November before we see them in the URC again. There for McGrath, Prendergast. Good run, good strength from Clarkson once more. Pulled back by Doris, Prendergast, nice hands, Cooney, good support line. Tackle from the ever-willing Van Vick, but they are doing a lot of tackling now. Max Deegan gets Leinster up to the 22. He's off his feet, Van Vick. He wasn't off them for long, but he was off them. Here's Andrew Porter, chopped down. Good tackle from Snyman. Prendergast now for the first time, a little loop around and uses the boot to try and create something, but nothing there. That's not where the mark was taken from. Back you go. This is the referee.
Too far in front. Let's go again.
Prendergast saw the space there, ultimately wasn't able to execute the skill of the kick. His short kicking game is a real strength of his. Slightly scrappy first half from him, but he's certainly built his way back into the game. He's been impressive in the last 15 minutes in particular, as Leinster are beginning to impose themselves on the game.
21 and 22 as you watch
Blue
that.
9 and 10.
Little
9
Prendergast
and
cameo to Cooney will replace 9 and 10. So out come Luke McGrath and Sam Prendergast. In come Cormac Foley and Ross Byrne. Foley, for his first appearance of the competitive season, he did play in a couple of pre-season friendlies. And Ross Byrne, to continue his involvement in every game Leinster have played in the URC so far this season.
Time is on.
I fancy the young Prendergast will sit down on the bench and feel that one just a little frustrating from his perspective.
Frustrating, but yet again we've seen the potential that he has to be able to iron out some turnovers from the Lions.
Really good, and it's that man Van Vick again in the scrum cap wearing 13. He has been, for me, everything good about the Lions this evening.
Just to wrap up on Prendergast, I think he's got to iron out some of those parts of his game, but it's the ambition I like. You know, he's decided to go for the spiral kick and open play, spiral kicking to touch from penalties. We see his offloading game, his ability to keep his hands free, his ability to get players through the opposition's defensive line. He always looks like he's got a lot of time on the ball, and the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
Opportunity maybe for the Lions to get something in this second half, and as soon as I say it, the old commentators curse on them. It's not straight to the captain at the back, and Leinster will take the scrum and surely relieve the pressure.
Balls come away, you ball slip, your bind, you can be better.
With 15 minutes to go, that did feel like a big opportunity for the Lions to get themselves back into this.
Crouch!
Important cameo this for Cormac Foley. Like every position in Leinster, it's competitive.
No issue with the gap on the binds.
Top guns in Luke McGrath, Gibson Park, Finton Gunn, Oliver Coffey. But you get a cameo like this, 15 minutes, you've got to take your opportunity. Get in there, move the ball quickly, get the ball in Ross Byrne's hands.
Blocked down from James Lowe by Vandenberg.
Goal line.
Leinster, well, get away with it, we'll say.
Just make sure you're behind, okay?
Great block. Tell you what, Lowe's heart would have sunk there. Good scramble from Foley to cover that.
Ross Byrne down the middle of the field. Cairns hit by Snyman, but still able to produce the ball back on the Lions' side. Schoeman. Vandenberg. Scrum half back again. Flier gets man, ball, and the turnover, and Robbie Henshaw kicks it downfield. Back goes Van der Merwe.
Red retreat!
Good
Red
work,
back.
good clearing kick, and takes the pressure
Keep going.
off his team.
Thank you.
I'm laughing because Ntlabakanye has just run out of juice. The referee telling him to go back, and he was almost jogging on the spot, and that was from exhaustion rather than the desire to do it. Creel got away from Leinster, but the kick got away from him.
It did, and quite a bit of space when you're running at top speed here. Trying to get a kick away is difficult. Good to see Porter leading the kick chase there in behind. Ross Byrne.
Ntlabakanye has run out of juice and he is called ashore. Pullman in his place, Ryan Baird receiving a little bit of attention. I should say Schoeman in his place. And there's going to be a call in for James Culhane wearing 19 for Leinster. It is Ryan Baird who's going to come out of the game. Culhane, 24 tackles against Connacht last week. 24. You never made 24 tackles in a match, Ian, did you?
I'd struggle to do that in a season. That's a hell of a shift. Leinster were happy to soak up a lot of pressure in that game last week. You can see some of their back row racking up the tackles.
Cooney, Leinster looking to see if they can put in something of a try other than from a metre out. Henshaw, good to see him back and firing well. James Lowe, this time a kick in behind. It's a really, really good one. Hugo Keenan's knocked it on. Van der Merwe there to make sure that nothing came of it from Leinster.
Knock on scrum.
That from Lowe, he's so good at it. We've seen it in blue and green so often.
Yeah, really delicate touch. It's going to be really important for Ireland in 13 days' time against the All Blacks.
Binds up height.
Been impressed with Cooney tonight. He'll be happy his first start for Leinster. I'm sure he was feeling the nerves today. But he's mixed up his passing game. Short and long, couple of nice offloads, particularly good defensive read. That's what you got to do. Be good at the basics. Take your opportunity. Ensure that you give yourself another chance. He's certainly someone we're going to be seeing in blue again.
Up.
Vandenberg, feed Leinster. Well,
18 straight across the scrum.
They got on it.
Number 18 straight across the scrum.
Thomas Clarkson this time.
18 straight
not
across the scrum.
scrummaging straight. Last time it was Porter.
Number 18 straight across.
Leinster give away their 13th penalty of this game.
I think every scrum Leinster set down for, regardless of the fact that it's opposition ball, they're on the attack. That's why we're seeing them getting penalised or potentially coming up with a turnover.
2 balls are on. 2 balls. Stand in front there, please. Time's off.
There is James Culhane.
18. There's your mark. He'll come over to a metre. Time is off.
Max Deegan.
All good.
He's the one to make way. When Baird had done.
Okay, 6 red. You got to go as well now. Number 6 red, sub.
6 red is JC Pretorius. He's had a decent game. Deeny's in as well, by the way.
Sub's complete.
For Leinster. Ball
okay,
change.
time on.
Minutes left at the Aviva Stadium in a game that's never really caught fire. It's been an arm wrestle more than anything else. We haven't had that moment of magic to light it up that we thought we might get from both sides. Such attacking ability in blue and red just hasn't come to pass. Weather hasn't helped, but the style of play both have come with today has been a little bit more conservative.
There's a knock on.
Yeah, it has, and that's full credit to the Lions. They've come here today, they've made it particularly difficult for Leinster to attack against them. You do feel that the Lions attack, it doesn't have the layers to be able to get in behind Leinster enough to really put them under pressure.
Reviews. The TMO will come in.
You also have to credit the defences on both sides that have been rock solid. Yes, the Lions have creaked 2 tries, but in truth, 2 metres or less out on both occasions. It's not like they've left big gaps that Leinster have gone soaring through.
No, in particular in the second half, the Lions have struggled with the wet ball.
Let's go, please.
Too often we're seeing their attacking players catching the ball as they're being tackled. You cannot do that when the ball is slippy.
Yeah, you stay square, shoulders out. Crouch! Bind!
Ross Byrne, Osborne in behind the scrum here. Let's see them peel in left late.
Keep it up, 1.
Made a 6-on-4.
Foley, Henshaw, Ross Byrne and Osborne just shuffling across is that Lions defence to ensure that Leinster run out of room more than anything else. Foley pulled back for Deeny, and then that one isn't kept in hand. And the Lions have it again. James Lowe is back there.
Out, blue back, out.
And taken by Van den
Release,
Berg.
blue away, release.
Need to let him go. The tackle is complete.
Use.
Creel. Clarkson makes the tackle.
Still in. Use.
Nohamba.
Title was fine.
Out to the edge, and Cronje goes. In the game, of course, for 70 minutes. The early injury to Horn. Knock forwards. Leinster scrum. It's been that kind of second half. Scrap.
It has been scrappy, and wet ball has made it difficult. Even there, good play from the Lions to gain 25, 30 yards, but as often we've seen, when they do something well, they can't back it up.
Yeah, I had a tight clean group across that one. Error. Ball away on the last, there's nothing to chase. Loose at angle, square. Don't worry. Boys, you probably get a bit more space here, okay? We're very close.
Leinster's next game in the URC against Ulster in round 7 on the 29th of November up in the Kingspan.
Let's go then.
That will be tasty.
It's your balls, you said.
The Lions have Munster in round 7. Round 6 for them.
Which is turning into a huge game. You know, Munster have left themselves with not quite a mountain to climb, but we're a third of the way through the league. They'll be sitting in 12th when things wrap up at the end of the weekend's rugby. And when you're playing against a team like the Lions, who are sitting above them in the table, it very quickly turns into a must-win.
Leave. Right, check out
Osborne did well to evade the first tackle of Lowe. There's an advantage being played to Leinster.
Okay, it's a penalty only, Leinster.
Foley pulled back by Porter. That one could be picked off, and almost was.
Lifting tackle, 21.
By Nohamba.
Lifting tackle, 21.
Lifting tackle. The referee saw it in there. And Ross Byrne through what is now driving rain. Fine touch over on that far side, give Leinster
number 21, lifting
21
tackle.
Nohamba, there you see it. Yeah, that was penalty is just about right for that.
We don't see too many of those lifting tackles anymore, and for good reason. They're dangerous. Always coming down on their shoulder.
McCarthy. Snyman plucks it out of the air, and Leinster go to work on the maul. We haven't seen much of the maul from Leinster at all. We're not going to see any more of it now as Foley finds Robbie Henshaw, Cooney on his shoulder. Foley once again, a foot kicked it away just as he was about to pass it, and I think he got a hand on it. Referee is right, knocks it forward.
Scrum.
I think it's a stray boot that just kicks it out of his hands.
Good picture this side. Picture's better on this side. Good.
That's frustrating, but the reality is part of the skill of being a scrum half is your ability to find that ball at the bottom of the breakdown and get it out swiftly. Misfortune there. Robbie Henshaw will be happy with how he's performed tonight. I think he's looked sharp.
Okay, they
got the likes of Osborne breathing down your neck. Other quality centres in Aki and Ringrose, but I'm sure we'll see him in green and one, if not two, of the autumn internationals coming up.
Yep, you're going to see a lot of the Aviva Stadium over the next couple of weeks. Of course, Ireland's on duty for 4 weekends to celebrate the IRFU's 150th anniversary. It's New Zealand and then Argentina and Fiji, and wrapped up with a game against Australia as Joe Smyth comes back to town. All to look forward to.
inside the 22. Inside the 22.
Yeah, you feel it's a really important autumn series for Australia. Struggled in the Rugby Championship. We know the Lions are going down there next summer. This is their final run of games in preparation for that. There's one man who can turn them around. It is Joe Smyth.
Blue to ground.
No doubt. Right man in the right place. Deeny will play scrum half. Snyman put in another shift, and that will be a massive bonus for both him and Leinster. Here we are, 77 minutes deep, and he continues to have the engine to go. Hugo Keenan just couldn't get away. Foley gets it away. Porter nicely taken. McCarthy's put in a full, 77 minutes. A rare moment to see a front rower still there. Penalty of the breakdown. Leinster holding on.
Yeah, what a start to the season it has been for Gus McCarthy. At the end of last season, he'd be thinking, when will I possibly get my opportunity? With brilliant piece of skill there. Oh, he's out.
Assistant has put his flag up, and Hugo Keenan looks at him with a death stare.
For Gus McCarthy, you'd be looking at the queue of hookers ahead of him, but it's a very attritional game. We saw Sheehan, unfortunately, do his ACL in the summer. Kelleher picked up a knock earlier in the season, and for a young guy, a young hooker, to get 3, 4, 5 games on the bounce, and full credit to him, he stepped up, he's taken his opportunity, and he's been called up to the Ireland squad as a training player.
Inside of 5.
Is there any life left in the Lions?
Knock on.
Knock forwards.
Advantage knock on.
Try maybe a bonus points to come away with right now. There's nothing for all their endeavour and all their efforts to take away from the Aviva Stadium, and it's looking like it's going to stay that way.
Body weight. This player, number 16.
A couple more changes.
Time off. Number 2.
Leinster. Charlie Tector, first appearance since coming back from emerging Ireland, takes his place. Robbie Henshaw, that is, and a change for the aforementioned Gus McCarthy. There is Stephen Smyth, who must have thought there was absolutely no chance he was playing for Leinster this season, when you consider, as you say, Sheehan, Kelleher, John McKee, Lee Barron and Gus McCarthy. So 6th choice at the start of the season, 2nd choice right now.
Well, he's got his cap now, he's come on, nailed his first dart. Good on you, Stephen Smyth.
Absolutely, absolutely. Plenty of days ahead for the academy hooker, no doubt. A terrific moment for him and his family, as it is for young Hugh Cooney today.
Stay.
May well be the last play of the game. Lions knock it forward inside the Leinster half.
Scrum.
Or inside their own 22, I should say.
Again, full credit to Leo Cullen, the blend of youth and experience. At least 6 or 7 academy players in that 23 today. They'll be delighted with how they've started the season. 5 bonus point wins, and another good win tonight against a
shoulders out,
Lions side.
Crouch.
29 points from a potential 30.
Bind.
Yeah, you got to call that a decent set. This will be the last play of the day. Penalty is what accrues. Andrew Porter and co get one in the bank, having given a couple away for not scrummaging straight.
I call this one.
Could Leinster set up a maul? And could we see Stephen Smyth get over for a try?
Wouldn't that be fabulous? So then, clock in the red.
How many, lads?
Game in the bag for Leinster in terms of the result. And this their final effort. RG Snyman goes to the air and Leinster go to the maul, and Smyth has it at the back of that maul, and the legs are driving and the bodies skittles illegally as the referee says penalty try. And young Smyth gets all the plaudits because it was his in name, if not directly credited to him, his effort, and you can see just how it means to him and Andrew Porter and the rest of the squad. Snyman went to the air. It's majestic to watch in slow motion in particular. And the Lions, well, all they could do was drag it down, and the referee awarded the full 7 to Leinster, and that the final act in a game that in the end sort of petered out, Ian, but Leinster will be happy.
It did. Leinster will be happy. It closes off the first third of the season for them. They've put in a lot of players. I think it's 47 players we've seen play for Leinster so far this season. Good balance, good competition. Roll on the internationals.
Indeed. Final score at the Aviva Stadium. It wasn't a classic, but Leinster won it by 24 points to 6.